Hello! Welcome to Critical Recap. I'm Dani, Carr, and I'm here to catch you up on the latest episode of Critical Role. You can also catch up with the Critical Role podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and Google. Make sure to check out critrole.com for cool merch and information on events like SDCC, Gen Con, and more. Now, here's what happened on episode 70, Causatum. The Mighty Nein make it back to Bazzoxan, finding the city calm and unharmed. Caleb identifies the dagger, and in the morning, Jester sends several messages to the Bright Queen, telling her what happened. She requests them to return, which they promise to do the next day. The decision to return causes much conflict in the group, but they do ultimately decide to return to the Bright Queen. She tells them to keep the information to themselves so as not to alarm people to the group's concern. Jester scries on Yasha and sees her resurrecting Oban. This deeply worries the party, and they wrestle with whether to inform the town. As they wander, lightly hinting that something's coming, they discover that the guard is heightened and that the Bright Queen did warn them of a threat. Clay casts legend lore on his two broken sword pieces, learning that the blade was known as Dwethavar the Star Razor, created by Sehanine and Melora during the Age of Arcanum.
Recovered by the elves and dwarves of Uthodurn, it was reforged and strengthened under the skilled work of the dwarven smith Dulgrim Smeltborn, before it was sundered in a terrible battle deep within the ruins of Malaesmere, within the Savalier Wood.
Bo and Jester lament the loss of Yasha, both hoping that the Stormlord might save her. Jester talks to Shikasta, who confirms that he has successfully taken Luke and Edith to Nicodranus. As the group sleeps, Jester is visited by the Traveler, and they discuss the location of TravelerCon, with Jester suggesting a volcano up north, which he likes. The Traveler reminds her that there is beauty in sadness, and that the storm's powerful eyes remain upon Yasha. In the morning, Caleb teleports everyone to Rosohna, where they meet with the Bright Queen. She thanks them for their warning about the attacks at the Ashkeeper garrison, that lives were spared and a Scourger was captured. Clay explains what happened at the tomb, and the Bright Queen thanks them for this warning as well, and states the dynasty will take it from there and will keep them informed of the situation. She gives them her blessing to explore their lead up north, but does not offer aid. Caleb asks to meet with the Scourger, and the Bright Queen allows this, though tells him that trust must be continually earned if he is to learn their arcane practices. Clay asks if they have any information on the mountain he seeks, referring to the kiln as the Burning Lodge. The Sky Sibyl calls the volcano Kravarad and places it in the Flatcat Alps in the graying wildlands. The Nine are led to the prison, to a heavily guarded level where the female Scourger is being kept. Caleb can't see her face, but he speaks to her in Zemnian, asking her if she knows Bren Aldrich Ermundrud.
I don't know. Is he you? And the figure turns and looks in your direction. Oh! You see the hair kind of pushed to one side of the face. The hair is dark, not brown, and the face is unfamiliar to you. This is not Astrid.
She claims that she has heard stories of him, and is fascinated to see that he is working for the enemy. Caleb is shaken, and the party head back to the Jor house. Yaza is there, happy to see them, and excited to hear that Luke is safely in Nicodranus. The party decide to head there first thing in the morning. Caleb meets with Essek and tells him a little bit about his time with the Scourgers and asks to see this one again. Essek says that he'll do what he can. Clay tells everyone about the sword and that he thinks the kiln can reforge it. He tells them a story that he grew up with, a tale of his family and two others. 3 of the Raven Queen's champions, named Dust, Stone, and Clay, were tasked to deal with the body of a hero. Stone said give them to the air, Clay said to the earth, and Dust said to the fire. The Raven Queen guided them to the Wild Mother, who spoke and told them to each take a piece of him to an oasis, a spring, and a cave, which all became temples.
These 3 temples. Each of us, on occasion, making a pilgrimage, but very rarely. Somewhere there is a member of the Dust in the north, ready to help.
Jester sends a message to Dyron for Bo, telling her where to find them. Bo is trepidatious about meeting with her mentor, and in the middle of the night, Dyron comes to the house. That is it for episode 70. But is that really it? I have some thoughts. Holy shit, y'all, the Bright Queen isn't mad at them! Or if she is, it's not throw you in jail mad. No word yet on how pissed Dyron is going to be, and that is honestly way more terrifying. Bo is going to have a hard time explaining everything to her. I don't know if I'm glad that the Scourger wasn't Astrid or even more worried about Caleb now. That story about Clay's family was fascinating, and I hope that the kiln is helpful, and that they make it to Nicodranus and back safely. Also, fuck Oban! Oh, Mighty Nein. Anyway, catch episode 71 on Thursday, July 18th at 7 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/Critical Role, or a week later on our podcast, and stay tuned to critrole.com for all the latest updates. Hey y'all! Thanks for watching this episode of Critical Recap. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that little bell below to get notifications on all our uploads.